Well, hello. This is Mrs. Salmon, and this video is for Dylan Williams. And Dylan, today we're going to work on um, a few things. And I just want to remind you that when you work on things with Mrs. Salmon, we do things in small chunks. So I don't want you to um, sit for the whole 30 minutes and do the same thing over and over again for a long time. I want you to take little periods of time, little chunks of time to work on this work that we're going to do today. I also want you to know that you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a paper and pencil, maybe some crayons or colored pencils, and you might need more than one piece of paper, okay? Today, though, we're going to focus on this sound. This is the symbol that you'll find in the dictionary for the sound. For the sound, like E says But today we're going to learn about another way to say So, remember how when we write in the sand, we write, when I say the sound you say and then you write E says Well, today we're going to learn how to have another sound that says So here is how it is symbolized in the dictionary. You're going to see written with that little upside down half circle on top of it. And that in the dictionary is the sound for But now, instead of only one way to say now there are two ways to say E says and E-A says And we're going to talk today about blending some sounds we know with these two spellings to practice. So let's do a simple one we already know. We're going to, and remember when we write this letter, we always start at the top and we come up and around, and this letter is B, and B says B. We're going to do B, Now this one, a lot of people get this one confused, but if you start at the right spot and make your magic C, then go up and back down, you'll make your D. And so we're going to read this. B, D, bed. And I just wanted to practice those letters on how to write them. Dylan, feel free to write on your paper if you can go back and do that, or if you want to write along with me, that's fine, or you can go back and forth. Now we're going to write the word bread. Bread. So let's take the hand you don't write with and put it on the table and pound bread. Fingers out. Br, d. Bread. All right, the difference with the word bread, b, r. We have that beginning blend. Br, d. But something's not quite right. Look at that word. Does that look right? You're right. We don't spell bread with just the one E. We actually spell bread with EA. So this is how bread is spelled. Br, d. Bread. Now, I know, Dylan, you're used to me giving you rules and when to use the spelled with just an E and when to use the spelled with an EA. But for this word bread, you just have to know that bread is spelled EA. There's no rule for it, and that can be confusing. But I just want you to remember the word bread does have the EA. And if you want to pause the video right now and go in the kitchen and check your bread, you might just find that bread on the bread bag is spelled B-R-E-A-D. Let's do the next word. We're going to do thread. 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 So let's do thread. Thread. But guess what? We need that A for thread as well. Thread. Thread. So we need to remember E says and EA says like in bed, can be bread or thread. Now we're going to do a 2-syllable word. This word is an important key word for today. I want you to think about the word dreadful. Dreadful. 2 syllables. First syllable is dread. Dread. Remember that D starts with a magic C. E-A this time. Dread. Starts with a magic C again. Dread. Full. 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 2 syllables. Dreadful. Dreadful. I have an assignment for you, Dylan. I would like you to look up the word dreadful in a dictionary. You can look on Google Dictionary, or you can find a good old-fashioned dictionary that's made in a book. And I want you to find out for me, with dreadful, the root word is dread. So I want you to find out what origin. Remember how we talked about Latin and Greek root words? I want you to find out dread. Is dread Latin or Greek, or maybe it's something else? In the dictionary definition for dreadful, the root word dread will be defined. It'll tell you what origin of language dread comes from. And then full is a suffix. Remember we talked about suffixes going at the end of a word. I want you to find the suffix full, F-U-L, and find out what that means. And then be able to write dreadful down. Now, we are going to make a sentence today. And so you might have to pause the video and get your paper ready. But before we get started, we need to write our lines. So remember, the first word in a sentence has to be capitalized. So we're going to do the mountain. And our sentence I have in my head, so I'm going to write the lines out here. And remember that 2 lines are for sight words, and 1 line for not sight words, and then another line, not a sight word, and another line, this one is a sight word, and then the last one is going to be a 2-syllable word. So I'm making the line really long, and then remember at the end we put a little box for the punctuation. Oh, well, you know what? I think our second word is actually a sight word as well. Okay, so sorry. So we have a mountain, which tells us what? The capital, to capitalize. Then we have two sight words. Then we have a word that we can tap with our hands and figure out how to spell it. Another sight word, and then we're going to have our two-syllable word, dreadful. Okay, so here's how our sentence goes. I want you the first time just to listen. Don't write, don't pound, don't say anything. Just listen to my voice and watch my hand. Does this taste dreadful? Oh my goodness. Mrs. Solomon made a mistake. We do not need this line. We can erase it. I hope you used pencil. If not, just make sure that you erase it or cross it out. Let's try that again. So sorry. Does this taste dreadful? That's our sentence. Now let's say it with me. Ready? Pound it with your fist. 1 pound for every syllable. Does this taste dreadful? Now you do it without me. Does this taste dreadful? Okay, now we're going to point. Now watch first. Don't say anything and don't point the first time. Does this taste dreadful? Now you point with me. Point on your paper. Does this taste dreadful? Now point by yourself. Does this taste dreadful? Okay, so we have four words to write in our sentence. The first word is does, and it's a sight word. So I want you to remember to take the hand you write with and put it on your shoulder, and let's tap. D-O-E-S, does. D-O-E-S, does. D-O-E-S, does. Okay, so we're gonna write that word does on our paper. And this mountain tells us that we need a capital D. When we write capital D, we start at the top of the mountain, top of the attic, big line down, hop up, and a big curve, D. Then remember your O starts like a magic E, and then your E, D-O-E-S. Did I say that wrong when we were practicing? Oh goodness, D-O-E-S. That is the word does. I hope I didn't say that wrong when we were practicing on our padding. D-O-E-S, does. Our next word is this. Put your hand that you write with on your shoulder. This. T-H-I-S. This. T-H-I-S. This. T-H-I-S. This. All right, we're going to write this. Does this. This. T-H. Remember, we're starting at the top. We're putting our dot in the attic after we write our stick, and then our S. Does this taste? Okay, taste is one that we're going to have to pound. And if you listen to that word, taste, we're going to have an ending blend, and we're going to have a long vowel sound. And I'm going to give you a hint. The word taste has a silent E, a magic E on the end. So let's do the word taste. Put your fist on the table and pound it. Taste. Fingers out. T-A-st. Taste. Fingers out. T-A-st. Taste. One more time. T-A-st. Taste. Okay, first sound. T. Well, we know that.